Hi guys, welcome to the first ever live, my first ever live on YouTube. It's been a pleasure. Very nervous, very excited at the same time to get started with this. Hopefully, you guys can hear me well and clear. So, the idea behind this is to do a weekly live on YouTube. Just run through some of the markets, look at the market, how it's performed over the week, what are the few news related things that have come out in this week, and how it's done performed. All right, let's get started with that. All right, so first thing that we're going to look at is the market for this week. So, top 10 coins for this week. Bitcoin has taken quite a bit of a beating. Dropped down by about 6.64%. There was quite a big pump in the middle of the week, and then a huge drop as well. Overall, Bitcoin right now perform at 19,600 with a market cap of about 374 million. Ethereum, big week for Ethereum with the merge successfully happened from proof of work to proof of stake. More on that later. But Ethereum still down 16% from last week to about $1,450 right now. Apart from that, our biggest drops in the top 10 have been BNB down 6.18% to $274, one BNB, and Cardano down 7.13% to about 46 cents. Solana being hacked this week, big news about that. Down again 8.12% this week to 32.32. And Dogecoin, Dogecoin also is down about 6.72% this week. All right, moving on to from that, we'll just have a look a little bit about the Bitcoin price chart. Earlier this week, as I mentioned, Bitcoin rose up to about $22,500 and had a swift drop down all the way to $19,600. Big drop for Bitcoin, especially this week since the inflation numbers came out, and everyone was super excited before the inflation numbers came out, and the market kind of rallied up. And as the inflation prices came in, the markets took a hit. It's been a story about every month for the last 4 months. All right, cool. So yeah, cryptocurrency prices have been moving lockstep with Wall Street. So you've seen not only this crypto markets taking a hit, but also the stock markets taking a hit, and they fell sharply, as I said, in the middle of the week this week, thanks to a hotter than expected inflation report. The CPI also rose by about 0.1%, and analysts were actually expecting that the prices to fall, as I mentioned, but costs just keep rising, and this all means that the Fed is most likely to keep increasing the interest rates until inflation is under control. So, guys, I definitely think that next month again is going to be the same story, a different day. Don't think that the inflation is going to go down in just 4 months of the Fed raising interest rates. We're probably going to see this for another couple of 4 or 5 months. It's going to be very difficult. Crypto winter is here to stay for quite some time, so just be prepared, brace yourself for it, and just make sure that you have taken all the measures in place to mitigate your exposure. All right, moving on to the next big thing that happened this week is the Ethereum merge. Ethereum finally moved from a proof of work to a proof of stake consensus mechanism on a live chain. This has never been done before in the past. It's quite quite a big move for any network to do so, because it's never been attempted in the history of crypto, and it was successful. So Ethereum's proof of stake beacon chain was already live since December 2020, and they were working towards these mainnet upgrade with certain different sorry, certain different smaller upgrades, as we've seen with test nets and all that stuff that they've attempted in doing the last 1 year. And finally, it was successful. So two key points that you need to know from this Ethereum merge, that it's moved from, actually, sorry, three key points that you need to know from the Ethereum merge. One is that it's moved from proof of work to proof of stake. This means that Ethereum's energy consumption will be reduced by 99.5%, which is a huge win for all the crypto critics that keep coming to the industry. Like, crypto mining is very expensive. It's not good for the environment. So take that, you guys. Crypto mining out of the window, crypto staking in the window. All right. So another thing that this will also do is increase your transaction speed by just 1 second. But guys, another thing to mention here is that this is not the end all of Ethereum. And I personally did expect some price action to happen with the Ethereum merge taking place, but it didn't. In fact, it dropped down a little bit, but I wouldn't really classify that a huge price action movement. I was expecting about a 20 to 30% increase or a decrease either way. That didn't happen. But anyways, Ethereum's issues still remain there. Scalability and is the biggest problem right now that they're facing. It still faces the scalability issues. Now that it's moved to a proof of stake system, it can finally start solving the scalability issues. And we will see this with the sludge, the plurge, and one more that I can't recall right now. But there's a couple more upgrades that are going to come into Ethereum, and that's when your gas fees are going to reduce. That is when your transaction speeds are going to be significantly increased, and that's when Ethereum will be taking on a lot more transactions and finally solving that trilemma of decentralized security and scalability that each blockchain creator has. All right, moving on to the next big news of this week is the White House just put in a framework to regulate crypto. And here's what it means. The framework outlines the way in which financial services should evolve to make borderless transactions easier, as well as how to crack down on frauds in the digital asset space. Now, guys, this is a very important thing. There's pros and cons to this. The pros are that, yes, this is a step in the right direction to safeguard people like you and me and people who are entering into the space and make it a lot more easier adoption into crypto. Definitely, that's a very good, that is a pro over here. The con is that by doing this, you are regulating a decentralized network or decentralized system. So how is this any more decentralized? So there are two sides to this. Definitely keep a close eye on this. How the US plans to regulate this framework. Definitely a very interesting thing. We need to keep a close eye on that. All right, moving on to the next thing. Crypto brokerage Genesis announced on Wednesday that their CEO, Michael Morrow, is stepping down from the company. And the company is also cutting 20% of its 260-person workforce. Guys, we've seen this in the bear market right now, that this is not the latest. This is not the only firm that is suffering through the whole market crash. It's just the latest major crypto firm that is doing so. Last month, Genesis also disclosed that it incurred losses tied to the collapse of the 3Arrow Capital earlier this summer. So that's been the case of this summer. We had Luna, we had 3Arrows Capital, we had gosh, there are quite a few, there are quite a few. We have Genesis also now talking about their losses. We had Michael Slater also talking about the losses that his company has incurred. I'm coming to that as well. We have that on our list for today. Moving to the next bit of news, a little bit of good in this whole market crash news. One of Elon Musk's favorite cryptocurrency is surging. You know this, guys. I need to take a zoom shot for this. Dogecoin. Okay, we're back. All right. Dogecoin has been doing quite well for this week, mostly due to the hype around its recently launched blockchain called Dogechain. Yes, we're getting some more utility for Dogecoin. All right, it touts itself as a layer 2 companion blockchain for Dogecoin. That basically means that it's going to be running in parallel to Dogecoin's layer 1, allowing users to bridge the meme coin onto the network to access different applications and NFTs. So this could be this is definitely a new use case that is out there for Dogecoin, the Dogecoin community. Shout out to them. But I need to mention that I am I am generally the person who stays away from Doge meme coins, and I would advise you to do so same, because the community of Dogecoin is fantastic. I do not want to hurt anyone's sentiment here. They are fantastic. Hats off to them. But the value of Dogecoin comes in just from its community. Today the community is strong. Tomorrow the community can be not so strong, and then what happens to your assets? So be really safe when you invest in. Be very safe and secure when you invest in Dogecoin. All right, moving on from that, little bit of a controversial statement at the end there. Finally, next up we have Galaxy Digital, which is a massive company, saying that it's terminating its $1.2 billion deal to acquire brokerage BitGo. It's now terminated the deal. The now terminated deal was announced in May 2021 as the largest corporate acquisition in the crypto sector history. Galaxy said that it's terminated the deal because BitGo didn't hand over their audited financial statements for 2021, and BitGo has called the termination improper and is looking to hold Galaxy Digital legally responsible. Guys, this is it. This is as simple as it can get in the crypto space. Is that if you are an organization that is doing well, that has no demons in its shadow, you gotta just embrace the fact that you have to be clear about what you're trying to do, especially when kind of lost my way, a little bit nervous as I mentioned. Guys, don't kill me in the comments. But definitely what I'm trying to say is with crypto being such an in its infancy stage right now, we have to make sure that we safeguard our investors and the people who are working in the organization. And how do you do this? Is being absolutely crystal clear on what the project does, absolutely crystal clear on who's working on the project, and leave no room for doubt. And just by a company, I mean, by BitGo not handing over their audited financial statements, this does sound a little bit fishy for me. So let's keep a close eye and see what actually happens here. All right. Second last piece of news, guys. I promise. Finally, second last piece again. Yeah. South Korean court has issued an arrest warrant for. I gotta do the zoom in shot again. Do Kwon. All right, the co-founder of the now defunct stablecoin issuer Terraform Labs. According to the Financial Crimes Court of South Korea, the warrant includes 5 additional individuals, citing and that they have been charged for violating the Capital Markets Act. Now, we all know Do Kwon and Terraform Labs and Terra Luna and the crash that happened in May. Horrible collapse, which actually wiped out a $40 billion Terra ecosystem. They need to answer a lot of questions. There's a lot that needs to be done over here. If this cannot be resolved in the way, in terms of proper questions being answered, this will leave a real sour taste in the crypto community. People will not want to invest in upcoming projects which might be very genuine. So we need to make sure that we as a community are staying strong, number one, and more importantly, getting the right answers, seeing what went wrong here, and actually learning from this. I did lose some money in there as well. A lot of people lost money in there as well. We need to make sure that we band together and actually know what's right and what's wrong, and get to the bottom of this. And the only way I feel like we can actually do this is start holding people accountable, So kudos to the South Korean government for doing this. Definitely want to know where my money went. And finally, the the last piece of news is something on a jovial one, actually, to keep you guys on. Uh, Tesla launches a new cyber whistle, and guess what? I love the zoom effect. It can only be bought using Dogecoin. I love that zoom in, guys. Okay, so yes, you heard it right. Tesla actually launching a Doge whistle, which you can only buy with Dogecoin. A cyber whistle that you can only buy with Dogecoin. The product is expected to ship within 4 to 6 weeks, and on top of that, Tesla only accepts Dogecoin as cryptocurrency. Currently, it used to accept Bitcoin and Ethereum. Sorry, only Bitcoin, and that was last year. And they actually just stopped accepting Bitcoin for any of their merchandises. And currently, Dogecoin is only accepted for select merchandises. So if you want to go and get yourself a cyber whistle, it's going to cost you about 1,000 Doge, roughly valued at around $60. Yeah, and that includes taxes and shipping. All right, guys. So that's all for this week's live. I have been a little bit shaky and nervous. I already know things on how I can improve, but if you have some recommendations for me on how I can improve these live streams, and if you liked my format, if you did like my format, I'm always open for some for your valuable feedback. Please let me know in the comments below. And if there's anything else that you would like me to go in depth of in terms of news, also leave that in the comments below, because when I'm preparing for next week's live, I will actually come back and also look at the comments that have come up here. So guys, it's been wonderful. Thank you all for being a part of this YouTube live, and see you guys next week.